Mississippi has certain roads and intersections that show up in crash data year after year, and most people driving through them every day have no idea. And here's the thing. These aren't always the big interstate highways. Some are in neighborhoods. Some are where state highways cross county roads. Some are right on the edge of town where visibility is limited or traffic signals just haven't kept up with the amount of traffic coming through. Today, I want to talk to you about some of the places that consistently generate wrecks, because some of these are going to sound very familiar. But first, let's talk about what this data actually means. The Mississippi Department of Transportation and NHTSA track where crashes happen. When the same roads and intersections keep showing up year after year, that's not bad luck. It's a pattern. These high crash areas usually have a few things in common. Poor visibility, missing or poorly timed traffic lights, high-speed roads meeting lower speed traffic, and very little lighting after dark. And here in Mississippi, country roads create their own challenges. Many of our most dangerous intersections are where state highways meet county roads. No traffic light, just a stop sign that some drivers roll through at 55 miles an hour while cross traffic is trying to pull out. When those wrecks happen, they're almost always T-bone impacts, and they can be devastating. Unlike a rear-end wreck where both vehicles are moving in the same direction, a T-bone wreck puts the full force of the impact directly into the side of the vehicle, the side with the least amount of protection. So let's talk about some of the places that come up over and over again. Let's start with the Jackson area. The interchange around I-20 and US-45 in Hinds County consistently sees some of the highest crash numbers in the state. You've got heavy traffic, commercial trucks mixed in with commuters, and drivers who may not know the area making a split-second decision at highway speeds. But some of the most dangerous spots around Jackson aren't even on the interstate. They're where people are transitioning from highway speeds onto city streets. Traffic signal timing hasn't always kept up with today's traffic volume, and turning traffic creates situations that roads weren't originally designed to handle. The roads coming into Jackson through Rankin County and Madison County tell a similar story. Those areas have grown so very quickly, but many of these roads haven't grown with them. New neighborhoods are feeding into old intersections, more cars, same dangerous setup. Here's a situation we see all too often. Someone exits the interstate and assumes the traffic signal ahead is predictable. It isn't. They enter the intersection, another driver runs the light, and suddenly there's a serious wreck. Then the case often comes down to one thing: who has footage? And unfortunately, many of those intersections don't have cameras. Now, my home base is in Tupelo, and I can tell you firsthand, there are roads in this city and throughout Lee County that I know by name because of the cases they've generated. One that comes up over and over again is Highway 45 through Northeast Mississippi. Highway 45 runs from the Tennessee state line all the way through Corinth, Baldwin, Boonville, and down into Tupelo. Every community along that route has at least one spot where the speed limit drops and the cross traffic increases, and that's where people get comfortable. Drivers who travel this road every day develop a false sense of security. They've driven it hundreds of times without a problem until one day something changes. The US-45 and Mississippi 72 area near the Tennessee border is another place that shows up regularly. Heavy commercial traffic, long stretches of highway speeds, visibility that changes depending on the weather and the time of day. The reality is, familiarity can make people let their guard down, and that's when mistakes happen. Now let's head down to the Gulf Coast, because it's a completely different kind of challenge. US 90 runs through Biloxi, Gulfport, and Pascagoula, and this road carries a tremendous amount of traffic every single day. The access points where US 90 meets the beach areas, casinos, and the commercial developments have historically been some of the highest crash areas in the state. You've got tourists who don't know where they're going, local drivers who know the area a little too well and take shortcuts, and you've got heavy traffic mixed with constant turning movements. That's a combination that creates serious wrecks over and over again. The Hattiesburg area and the I-59 interchanges in Forest County also show up consistently. Hattiesburg is a major regional hub, and the roads feeding into it from Jones, Lamar, and Perry counties, they carry a lot more traffic than most people realize. So here's the bottom line. Mississippi's repeat crash hotspots are all over this state, and they're not always where you expect them to be. And when a wreck happens in one of these places, figuring out who had the right-of-way can become one of the most important pieces of the case. After an intersection wreck, one of the first questions people ask me is, do I even need a lawyer? And honestly, it's not always that simple. The next video on this channel walks you through exactly how to know when it's time to call an attorney and when you may be able to handle things differently. Watch that one next before you make any decisions about your case. I'll see you over there.